mean, seems like a totally reasonable reaction to somebody breaking plans to me. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. As part of my coverage of the 2024 Sundance Film Festival, today I'm going to be talking about the 2024 romantic neo-noir crime thriller, Love Lies Bleeding, which will receive a limited theatrical release on March 8th before going wide on March 15th. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content, like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. All of my reviews include a breakdown of the pros and cons, my rating, and some tailored film recommendations, so be sure to watch through to the end of this video for all of that extra content. Love Lies Bleeding stars Kristen Stewart, Katy O'Brian, and Ed Harris, and was directed by Rose Glass. Set in 1989, it tells the story of a reclusive gym manager with criminal ties who gets involved with an ambitious and volatile bodybuilder. Every film festival has that one movie that everybody wants to see. The one movie that you build your entire festival schedule around. The one that automatically takes priority when multiple films are screening at the same time. That one movie that everybody seems to be talking about, even if they're not fans of the genre, simply because it's the film of the festival. Well, Love Lies Bleeding was that film at this year's Sundance Film Festival, headlining the 2024 Midnight Film Program. Now, when it comes to that one film at the festival, there's undeniably a certain degree of excitement that surrounds the experience, which is why there are often some inflated ratings and a tidal wave of rave reviews during and immediately after the festival. It's easy to get caught up in all of it and end up overhyping a movie. So especially in cases like this, I like to let things cool down and stew in my mind a bit before putting out my review. Love Lies Bleeding was not my favorite movie out of Sundance. It wasn't even in my top 3, but it was a very good one that justified its position as that one movie of the festival. Whatever it is you expect from this film, it probably isn't. At least not entirely. This is a wild story with an unexpected blend of ideas and genres. It's the kind of movie where you'll think you know where it's going. You'll think you have a handle on the situation, and then all of a sudden it'll shift or throw you a curveball and do something entirely unexpected. Love Lies Bleeding is very much a late 80s period piece that initially feels like a romantic drama, or even a sports drama, if you can consider bodybuilding a sport. But then the film begins its ongoing transitionary process. It becomes an erotic thriller that subtly morphs into a tense crime thriller. Less subtle is its sudden shift to domestic abuse drama, which serves as a second-act catalyst for the final major transformation to desert neo-noir. Throughout all of the story and genre transitions, this film retains a certain pulpy sensibility, interlacing everything with dark humor, gory body horror, and even moments of magical realism. With a story that goes in as many different directions as this one does, you really need some interesting characters to latch onto and be carried through the film with. And lucky for us, Love Lies Bleeding has got them. Members of the supporting cast, like Ed Harris's Lou Sr. and Dave Franco's JJ, serve as wonderfully slimy foils that are both memorable and easy to hate. But it's the two leads that really get the job done here, with both Kristen Stewart and Katy O'Brian delivering captivating performances. Interestingly, none of the characters here, protagonist or antagonist, are particularly good people. Kristen Stewart's Lou is probably the most likable of the bunch, and she's the easiest to root for and sympathize with, but both she and especially O'Brien's Jackie make some very questionable and often selfish choices. But despite that, they remain compelling. Their relationship and interactions, and especially the toxicity and volatility of it all, keep the story driving forward. As I'm sure anybody who's seen the trailer, or even just the poster, can tell, Love Lies Bleeding is a very stylish film. It has that neon-saturated look that's become synonymous with 80s period pieces, but this is more than just that slick, futurist 80s style of the trailer. It's sweaty and grimy and bloody, full of mullets and tank tops and a certain period trashiness. It's a very visceral film, both when it comes to sex and violence. The lighting, the cinematography, the sound design, and synthy score, it all adds to the stylish aesthetic. This film's influences, both stylistic and story, are unmistakable and prominently put on display. Carpenter, the Coen brothers, Cronenberg, Tarantino, and more are all blended together, along with Rose Glass's own signature style, to make this potent, pulpy cocktail. The story and genre spread gets a little wild, but Love Lies Bleeding manages to maintain a consistently tense and foreboding tone throughout, as it tells its tale of toxic relationships and the seemingly inextricable link between love and violence. We see this volatility in the relationship between Lou and Jackie, but it pops up in other forms too, like the abusive relationship between JJ and Beth, and even the caustic relationship between Lou and her father. It's a perpetual generational cycle that these characters just can't break free from. With its wild story full of viscerality, bad decisions, and unlikable characters, not to mention a larger-than-life and ultra-violent third act, Love Lies Bleeding is gonna be a divisive film. Obviously, A24 distributes a wide variety of films these days, but this is definitely a movie that's gonna appeal to at least what used to be the stereotypical A24 crowd. That said, it might have slightly broader appeal than just that. It's a bit more grounded and accessible than Rose Glass's first film, Saint Maud. However, it definitely still swings for the fences and gets a little bizarre at times. But it lives up to its name, delivering on the love, the lies, and especially the bleeding. Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons. Pro number one has got to be the performances, especially from Kristen Stewart and Katy O'Brian. Ed Harris and Dave Franco both give memorably scuzzy performances as well, but it's the two leads who really shine here. This is a story that's full of mostly unlikable characters. They're almost all bad people, doing even worse things, and yet you still find yourself caring about these characters, thanks to the strong performances. Stewart has really proven herself over the last 4 or 5 years, so it comes as no surprise that she's able to deliver here. But she really delivers, bringing a grounded, stabilizing quality to the chaotic and wild film. And then we've got Katy O'Brian in her first leading film role, sweeping through the story like a powerful and unpredictable storm. The second pro is the style. I realize that's kind of vague and broad, but it has to be, because it incorporates a number of different things. There's a lot of plot to this film, but it's also a movie that's very vibe-driven. The late 80s setting adds a bit of neon flair, but this isn't just some slick story. It somehow weaves a pulpy, sweaty griminess into its desert neo-noir sleekness. The color and visual aesthetic really pop here, enhanced by some visceral cinematography and sound design. The film does incorporate some more heavily stylized magical realism elements that don't always work, but they do, at the very least, result in an incredibly original stylistic blend. On the con side, the biggest issue is the genre whiplash. So this is something that's partially a con and partially a mixed aspect for me. Love Lies Bleeding covers a lot of ground and incorporates a lot of different genres, often transitioning suddenly from one to the next. This film starts off as a moody romantic drama, but then shifts several times throughout the course of the film. It becomes an erotic thriller, a tense crime thriller, a domestic abuse drama, a neo-noir revenge story. There's romance and mystery and drama and fantasy. It's a lot of things. Amazingly, the tone manages to feel fairly consistent even through the story and genre transitions, which makes it a lot smoother than it otherwise would have been, but the story offshoots and big genre swings still leave a bit of a negative impression by the end of the film. Before I give you my rating and recommendations, I want to remind you that if you're interested in buying Love Lies Bleeding or any of the other films I mentioned today, I do have affiliate links for all of them in the description below. I get a small commission from anything you buy using one of my links, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd use them if you're in the market for any of these movies. I'm gonna give Love Lies Bleeding 4 out of 5 paws. It certainly lives up to all 3 parts of its name. A stylish, tense, and visceral crime thriller, this starts small but grows more and more wild as it progresses, exploring the seemingly inextricable link between love and violence. I would recommend Love Lies Bleeding to anybody looking for a dark and sleazy crime thriller. This is a tense and stylish ride, so anybody who enjoys the Coen brothers or Tarantino films will be in for a treat. But you should be aware that this film goes places you might not expect, incorporating a good deal of Cronenbergian body horror, as well as some stylized moments of fantasy that'll seem a bit familiar to anybody who's seen Rose Glass's previous film. This is the kind of movie that's gonna generate strong but very split opinions from people. So in that sense, it's fairly typical for an A24 distributed film. You're probably probably either gonna really like it or really dislike it. If you liked Love Lies Bleeding, I would recommend Blood Simple. The directorial debut by the Coen brothers, this is another pulpy and stylish neo-noir with pitch-black humor and a plot riddled with lies and murder. If you liked the queer crime thriller aspect of this film, you might want to check out Bound. Another directorial debut by siblings, this time the Wachowskis, Bound combines a lesbian erotic thriller story with a violent mob crime thriller plot to craft something that was surprisingly original. And if you want another desert neo-noir with romantic and erotic thriller elements, you'll definitely want to check out The Hot Spot. Like Love Lies Bleeding, this story follows a drifter who becomes romantically involved with someone in a small town, only for everybody to get sucked into an escalating criminal plot. Alright, a couple questions for you guys. Number 1, have you seen Love Lies Bleeding? If so, what'd you think of it? And number 2, what's your favorite desert neo-noir? Be sure to leave your answers in the comments below so we can get a discussion going. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this review, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe while you're at it to see more videos like this. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.